Why right-wing ideology is rising in Europe and around the world. The rise of right-wing nationalist and populist movements across Europe and the global political landscape has become one of the most defining trends of the 21st century. This shift is not driven by a single factor. Rather, it is the result of a complex combination of economic anxiety, cultural tensions, political distrust, global crises, and rapid social changes. Below is an in-depth, extended explanation of this phenomenon. 1. Economic inequality and the fallout of globalization. Since the 1980s, globalization has been presented as a path to prosperity. While it undeniably boosted international trade and enriched multinational corporations, the benefits were distributed unevenly. Winners versus losers. Big cities and highly educated groups benefited from open markets and international mobility. Small towns, industrial regions, and blue-collar workers experienced job losses, wage stagnation, and economic insecurity. This created a sense of economic abandonment, causing many people to gravitate toward right-wing parties that promised protectionism, economic nationalism, restoration of local industries, stricter trade rules. Deindustrialization factories moved to Asia, leaving entire regions in Europe and the United States economically devastated. Right-wing parties capitalized on this by claiming that global elites sold out national industries. 2. Mass migration and cultural anxiety. Few issues have shaped contemporary politics as strongly as migration. The 2015 refugee crisis in Europe intensified debates about identity, security, and social cohesion. Identity fear, large influxes of migrants triggered questions such as, will our culture change? Can immigrants integrate? Are our cities and jobs at risk? These fears boosted support for right-wing parties that emphasized border control, national identity, restricted immigration, cultural preservation. Demographic shifts as European populations age and birth rates decline. Some citizens fear being demographically replaced, fueling nativist narratives. 3. Declining trust in political institutions and elites. Across the world, trust in traditional politics has eroded. Corruption and scandals, repeated corruption cases, bureaucratic inefficiency, and political hypocrisy created widespread disillusionment. Anti-establishment sentiment. Right-wing populists often position themselves as the voice of ordinary people against corrupt elites. This narrative resonates strongly among those who feel ignored, marginalized, or betrayed by mainstream parties. European Union criticism. Many Europeans view the EU as overly bureaucratic, distant, and undemocratic. Right-wing parties exploit this by promoting slogans like "Take back control," "National sovereignty first." Brexit is the most significant example. 4. Technological change and the influence of social media. Digital platforms have transformed how politics spreads. Algorithmic polarization. Social media platforms amplify emotionally charged content. Fear, anger, nationalism, and conspiracy theories. Right-wing messages, which often center on threats or identity protection, spread quickly. Decline of traditional media. As trust in mainstream media falls, alternative sources, many of which support right-wing views, gain influence. 5. Cultural conflicts and the values war societies are increasingly divided not just by economics, but by values. Reaction to rapid social change movements supporting LGBTQ+ rights, gender equality, multiculturalism, liberal social freedoms have grown quickly. While progressive groups see this as justice and equality, conservative groups feel overwhelmed and disconnected. This fuels a cultural backlash, strengthening right-wing support among those who desire traditional family values, national culture, and social order. 6. Security concerns and global terrorism events, such as 9/11, ISIS attacks, and ongoing regional conflicts heightened global insecurity. Demand for strong leadership. During times of perceived danger, citizens tend to support parties advocating strict borders, strong military power, tough law and order policies. Right-wing parties frequently frame themselves as the protectors of national safety. 7. Economic crises, inflation, and housing problems. The 2008 financial crisis, COVID-19 pandemic, rising inflation, and soaring housing prices deepened economic distress. People struggling to pay rent, buy a home, or maintain economic stability often seek out parties promising bold, immediate solutions, many of which come from the right. 8. Charismatic right-wing leaders. Some leaders have fueled the global rise of right-wing ideology through their personality and messaging strategies. Examples include Donald Trump, USA, Viktor Orban, Hungary, Giorgia Meloni, Italy, Marine Le Pen, France, Jair Bolsonaro, Brazil. These leaders communicate in a direct, emotional, anti-establishment style that resonates deeply with frustrated voters. 9. The revival of national identity. In a globalized world where cultures blend and borders seem porous, many people feel a renewed desire to protect their national identity. Nation first sentiment. Right-wing ideology thrives by promising to restore sovereignty, protect national traditions, resist global homogenization. 10. Weakness of the left. In many countries, left-wing parties have become detached from the working class, focused heavily on identity politics rather than economic issues, struggled to present clear, practical solutions. This ideological vacuum has been filled by right-wing populists. Conclusion. Why is right-wing ideology rising? The rise of right-wing movements is the result of overlapping forces: economic insecurity, cultural identity conflicts, rising migration, distrust in elites and institutions, technological polarization, security concerns, nationalist revival, weakness of traditional political parties. In a rapidly changing world, many people turn to right-wing ideology because it promises stability, cultural continuity, security, and national empowerment.